Welcome to Real Healing with Elena. Hi, I'm Elena, a board-certified naturopathic doctor, functional medicine certified health coach, and someone who spent years doing everything right and yet still felt terrible. This podcast exists because healing is not as complicated as the wellness industry wants you to think, but it is more layered than most people are told. Every week, we go deep into root cause health, detox, drainage, mold, nervous system, supplements, mindset, spirit, the whole picture. Because your body, your mind, and your spirit are not separate problems. They're all one system, and guess what? They heal together. If you're functioning, but know you're not thriving, you're in the right place. Now, let's dive in. Okay, I saw a viral post recently around perimenopause and menopause, and it got a lot of things right, but it got something majorly wrong. And it's not just this post. I see this over and over and over again. And so I really want to dive into it today. So the reason why I feel compelled is because this post in particular had 22,000 likes, had 23,000 shares, and hundreds of comments from women saying some version of, "This is exactly what I'm going through," or "Finally, someone said it." It walked through symptom after symptom: joint pain, hair changes, hot flashes, sleep disruption, anxiety, low libido, feeling like you've lost yourself. 18 slides of symptoms, and all of it is real. And the post ends with a message to the husbands: be patient, be understanding, read up on what your wife is going through. I want to start by saying this. Every single symptom on that post is real. That's not what's wrong. And yes, women have been dismissed. We have been told that we're being dramatic. We've been told to go see a doctor and get put on antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds or whatever, when what we actually need is someone asking, why is this happening? Now, that post is doing something important. It's naming what so many women have been feeling and have felt alone in for so many years. But there is a huge piece that is missing. There is a sentence that is missing from the whole thing, and it's the sentence that I believe changes everything about how we experience this transition in our lives. Here's what the post treats as the baseline. Perimenopause happens. It's hard. You get through it with support and patience for 7 to 10 years, and then it's over. But that's not actually how it works for every woman. And I want you to picture two women, both 47, both in perimenopause, but very different outcomes in very different scenarios or situations going through this. The first woman has the full list: hot flashes that hit out of nowhere, waking up at 2 a.m. every night, joint pain in her hips and knees, anxiety that wasn't there 5 years ago. She doesn't recognize herself most days. And that is very real, and I see that over and over and over again. However, the second woman is at the exact same hormonal transition, same age range, same decline, estrogen and progesterone, but she sleeps through the night, her mood is steady, she doesn't think about her hormones most days because she doesn't have to. So it's the exact same transition, but two completely different experiences. Why? Well, the post doesn't ask that question. It assumes that the symptoms are perimenopause, that this is just what the hormonal decline does to a woman's body, and the only variable is how much support and grace she gets from other people around her. Here's what's actually true. Hormones declining is natural. Every woman's hormones have declined since the beginning of human history. That is not a malfunction. That's not supposed to happen with this level of symptoms most women are experiencing today. The symptoms are not normal. Now, they have been normalized and they are common, but they are not normal to our human biology. Perimenopause doesn't cause the problem. It reveals it. So I want you to hold on to a word here: unmasked. For years, your hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone, have been quietly compensating in the background. They support your gut lining. They calm inflammation. They buffer your nervous system. They protect your brain and your bones. They've been covering for things you didn't even know needed covering for years. So when those hormones start to decline, that buffer thins out. And whatever was already going on underneath the surface, a gut that wasn't working right, a liver that was backed up, inflammation that was already simmering, a nervous system that was stuck in survival mode, it doesn't get caused because of perimenopause. It gets revealed. It gets unmasked because of perimenopause. That's the difference between the two women. It's not that one got lucky and one got unlucky. It's that one woman's body went into this transition already carrying a heavy toxic burden and a gut that was degraded, and the other one did not. If you caught the cortisol episode that I did earlier, this is the same body that's already in survival mode before perimenopause even shows up. The hormonal shift just removes the last thing that was covering it. So here's why this matters for you. If you've been handed the narrative that perimenopause is just something to white knuckle through with patience and grace until it's over, the only thing left to do is endure it. Wait it out. Hope your husband reads the right article. But if you understand that your symptoms are actually your body telling you something specific, that's information. And information is something you can work with. So instead of asking, how do I survive this transition of perimenopause and menopause, you now get to ask the question, what is my body already carrying that this transition is revealing? What is this transition uncovering in me, in my body, in my mind, and in my soul? That's a completely different starting point. That joint pain, that exhaustion that doesn't match how much sleep you get, that anxiety that showed up out of nowhere, none of that is random. None of that is just hormones being hormones. It's your body's communication system. And for the first time, you get to actually listen to what it's saying instead of it just being braced for impact. This isn't about blaming yourself for having symptoms. You didn't create this. Most of what built up the toxic burden in your body happened without your even awareness. It's in your food, in our water, the products, stress. Decades before perimenopause ever showed up, this has been building up within us. Emotional traumas, limiting beliefs, generational patterns. So this transition is about recognizing you're not stuck just because a hormone declined. There's something you can do about it. I want to tell you what's possible because I'm not theorizing about this. As I mentioned, I have one ovary. I'm in perimenopause right now, and I don't have symptoms. And neither do most of my clients. The ones that are working with me, we're working through this. And I'm not experiencing this because I got lucky, not because my genetics are special. Frankly, my genetics suck in many ways. But it's because years ago, I did the work to open my drainage pathways, clear the toxic burdens from my body, my mind, and my soul that I had been carrying. And then I rebuilt my gut and maintained all of this so that by the time perimenopause arrived, there wasn't much left to unmask. I did the nervous system work. I did the spiritual work. Got back to me. I found me. And so I've been able to ride out this transition with grace and ease, just longer time between my periods, which frankly, I love. And I don't tell you this to brag, but that it's proof of concept. It's the difference between the two women I described earlier. And it's available to more women than the current conversation around perimenopause or menopause is even telling them. This isn't about choosing between suffering through it or getting on hormone replacement therapy. There is a third option. When the terrain is clean, when the body is clean, when the liver can actually clear hormones, when the gut is intact, when inflammation is low, when the nervous system isn't stuck in survival mode, hormones can still decline naturally and the body adapts the way it was supposed to, the way that it was designed to. Not zero changes, but not a crisis either. This is also true for the men in your life, by the way. Testosterone decline follows the same pattern. The body that's carrying years of toxic burden experiences it as a crash. The body that isn't carrying that burden doesn't crash. Same principle, different hormone. So if you watched that reel or you've seen other posts and you felt seen, good. You should feel seen. What you're going through is real and it deserves to be taken seriously, very seriously, because it's showing what your body is set up for in the future. But what I want you to do is not to just stop at, I just need to get through this. There's a reason some women sail through this transition while others feel like they're falling apart, and it has very little to do with luck or genes. If you want to understand exactly what's been happening in your body and what it actually takes to change your experience of this transition instead of just surviving it, I have a free training that walks you through this. It's called Stop Managing Symptoms, Start Living. I'll put the link in the description. Watch it. The information in it is all yours, no strings attached. And if you want a decade of trial and error compressed into a clear guided path instead of figuring this out alone, that's what working with me looks like. The information is yours. The shortcut is me. Now, if you found this helpful, please share this with someone who needs to hear that there is another side of the story. There's another side of this transition in life. It doesn't have to be suffered through. We don't have to have patience till we get to the other side. We can do something about it. The symptoms are messengers. So listen. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate it. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone else who might need to hear it. That's how the message reaches those that it's meant for. And if what we talked about today got you thinking about what might actually be going on in your own body, I made something for you. It's a free training called Stop Managing Symptoms, Start Living. And it's the most complete explanation of my work that I have ever put together. I go over why chronic symptoms persist even when you seem to be doing everything right, what might be missing in other approaches, and what becomes possible when your body finally has the right conditions to heal. The link is in the show notes below. Go watch it. I think you'll really like it, and it'll change how you see what's been going on. Don't forget, subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode, and I'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, take care of yourself. You deserve it, and you are absolutely worth it. Have a blessed day.